Hey guys, welcome back. Today we understand or start with a very fresh topic of uh, or a new set of functions that those are logical functions. And one of the very important functions that you need to look at when you're talking about logical function is if function. Yeah. This is very important when I'm talking about when you're working on multiple conditions, yeah, when you're working on multiple criterias which you want to uh, check and give your output on. Yeah. So if function returns one value if a condition is true and another value if it is false. Yeah. So usually the syntax will look like if then I have to specify the condition or criteria or a logical test. So I'll say condition or I'll say criteria. That is the word that we are familiar with till now. I'll specify the criteria. Then I have to compulsorily specify something which will give me, which will be shown when value is true. Yeah. And the false value can be optional. So value is false. So if the condition is false, it will give me the value within the bracket, but this is optional. If you do not specify, it will not give you anything. But true condition is what is very much mandatory and you need to specify. Yeah. So what we can do is we need to first understand where we want to use this if condition. Yeah. So in order to use it in if condition, I usually use it to specify that a particular set target is met or not, or whether uh, my sales is greater than a particular value or not. Yeah. So if I say is equal to if sales or this particular number that is sales if is greater than, yeah, it's greater than symbol. You can see the logical operators in my previous videos which I have covered separately. So if this is greater than uh, 2000, yeah, it should say sales achieved, yeah, or sales not achieved. Perfect. You can see I have got my output here, sales not achieved for this based on the condition. Yeah. Let me check for other. You can see the sales is achieved. Yeah. Since my formula didn't evaluate to 2000, it gave me the output as sales not achieved since my number is not greater than 2000. But as soon as I went to the next cell, it got evaluated on 2200, which is greater than 2000. Hence, it gave me the value as true since this particular value is evaluated when the value is true. Yeah. So it has evaluated to sales achieved. So this is what happens. So it will check for the criteria first. Then it will give me the value if my condition is true, or it will give me this value if the condition is false. Suppose I do not specify this condition. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Sales achieved since the value is true, but for sales not achieved, it is giving me the value as false because I haven't specified anything. But by default, since the first condition has not been, or the first value has not been triggered since the sales is not greater than 2000, and I have not specified anything as a value for false or condition not met or the criteria not met. It is automatically given me a false value. So this is how it gets evaluated if you have not specified the false value which needs to be shown when your criteria is not met. So if condition will check your criteria, gives you a true value. If a condition is met, it gives me a true, it gives me a false value if the condition is not met. Yeah, pretty simple. Now suppose I do not give anything. I do not even specify the true value. I just put the commas. It will give me a 0, even if the condition is true or false. So I need to have some value within the values which needs to be evaluated when a condition is fulfilled or if the condition is not fulfilled. Yeah. Suppose I do not specify the true condition. I just leave it blank and I give the say condition which is to be evaluated when my criteria is not met, when my sales is down. So you can say sales not met, but here the condition is achieved for 2200. You get the value as 0 because I haven't specified anything here. Yeah. So what you need to understand here is if condition will evaluate to true or false, and it will display value based on the value that you have specified in the if true values and the value that you have specified in the if false value. Yeah, pretty simple formula, but you need to understand that it will always have one criteria which will be evaluated to give you this value. Okay, so there will be a test for truth, a test for false. You can have around 64 nested if condition to have multiple conditions in place when you are working on multiple criteria. Yeah, so what I can do is I can say if my sale is greater than 2000, I would say sales achieved. Yeah. Also, I will say sales achieved if I can have a nested if saying that suppose my quantity is also greater than quantity is if my quantity let me this one is greater than 100, then also I can see my sales is achieved. Yeah, and I can specify that quantity sales achieved. So let me have that in place. So I can specify quantity sales achieved. Yeah, and I can close my brackets here. So this particular bracket is for this condition. So I have to close it. And then this particular bracket I have not specified, so I have to close it. So you need to understand this brackets or the curly braces that we have added, which curly braces belong to which condition. So you need to specify the exact number or the exact condition which you are using. So what I'm checking here right now. Suppose I want sales to be greater than 4,000. Yeah. So if my sales, let me just explain you this formula right now. So if my sales is greater than 4,000, it will give me the output as sales achieved. But if my sales is not greater than 2,000, it will again evaluate the if condition and it will check for the quantity whether I have sold greater than 100. If that is so, then it will tell quantity sales achieved or it will say sales not achieved. Yeah. So in a practical scenario, uh, a person can have targets based on multiple criterias and his achievement could be based on multiple things. So I can have a high value sale or a low value sale depending on the number of target that I have or the rupee target or the amount target that I have. So if I press enter, you'll find it gives me an output saying that the quantity sales is achieved. Now suppose my quantity sales was 50. I'll just change this to 50. You'll find that it gives me an value that sales not achieved. Let me again change it. 200. Now suppose my 3,100, in spite of that, I have achieved 4,500 of sales. It will automatically give me the output as sales achieved. It will not go and check for quantity. Okay. So you need to be understanding on what your function is doing and what is the output that you are looking out for. Yeah. And you can have multiple criterias within each other. So I can have multiple criterias for true. I can have multiple criterias for being false. I can have this if condition being put in true value. Right now, I have done it for false. Either way, depending on kind of scenario that you have where you want to calculate or implement a particular function to get this kind of output. Yeah. So in a very short summary, if condition returns one value if a condition is true and another value if the condition is false. And within this, after the criteria, the true condition is specified. So the value for true condition is provided. And after the second comma, the value for false condition has to be provided. Yeah. Hope I was able to make this concept clear. Very, very important function being probably used most of the times when I want to work on any conditional uh, parameters that which has been provided to me to give such kind of output. Hope I was able to make the concepts clear. Hope you like this video. Do like it, share it across with your colleagues who want to learn Excel. Comment if you want me to cover any topics in this 365 days of Excel journey. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to my channel because that's how you will get notification about all the important videos that I upload on YouTube as soon as I upload them. And yes, once you subscribe, that will also keep me motivated towards creating such free content for your people to make you Excel expert. Thank you so much.